Good morning to everyone. Hope you have gone through yesterday's notes and did some practice for that. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed a concept of working with @value, working with the dot properties file. Okay, and loading the properties file @property source annotation, and started introduction about auto void. Okay, and we'll continue this one. Here I will be showing two cases. Total 3 cases will be there. Auto void to link objects. Okay, of two different classes we are going to use actually here. Okay, are injecting dependency object into dependent class. This another definition you can just give here. Okay, so here that is actually concept of auto void. Okay, so it is trying to link the object. Okay, so here assumption there are two classes. Case number one, find one object to link. Okay, it is actually finding one object to link. Okay, so here what's actually going to do? So here this is dependent object and dependency object. Here they are trying to link. Yes, if only one object is found, they actually linked. Okay, no problem. Morning. So here it is actually going to link here. Okay, case number one. In case number two, it's actually find zero dependency objects. Zero dependency objects actually here. Okay, so here this is unable to find any dependency. Okay, there is nothing present. Okay, case number three. Find multiple. Okay, that is actually here. It is actually it found multiple dependency objects. Okay, so here instead of find, I'll write found. Okay, so parent actually it's a found one dependency. It found multiple dependencies. Okay, so here it's a one having B objects, 3 B objects are there. Just assumption. So it is trying to link. So here this is a case. It's actually getting a doubt where to link. That's actually what to link here. 3 cases are there. Okay, case number one, it is actually found one object. Okay, assumption there is actually class B and class A like this. A is having B dependency like this. Okay, so this is A object, B object, this is OB reference. This is A object, OB reference, nothing is there, no B object. It's a B object B1, B object B2, B object B3, 3 objects found, and this is A object, it's a OB reference like this. So a dependent class needs a dependency that's actually object of B class. There can be one B object, zero B objects, and multiple B objects. Three cases are there. Okay, let me show one by one and I'll write here. If only one object is found, what it will do in this case? Okay, inject objects. Simple. What is the output is A and B? That is actually B object will be injected to A. Okay, so yeah, it's going to inject. In this case, it will throw exception. No such bean definition found exception. Okay, it is saying no, B is must. Okay, so what is the internal meaning is dependency object is must or required, whatever you call here. It's actually mandatory. Okay, it is saying, hey, I definitely need B object. Please get adjusted, take null. No, I won't take null. I need B object at any cost. Okay, you create that, or else I will not create A object also. I will not allow to start the application. I'll throw the exception. Okay, so B is not optional. We can't say please handle with a null. No. B is must you provide. Okay, or else you can request, hey, please auto wire, please make it as an optional, adjust with a null. Then what you should write here is at the time of writing auto wide. At the time of writing auto wide, you have to write required is equals to false. Okay, generally we used to write at the rate auto wide only. We used to write at the rate auto wide only. Internally it is required is equals to true. That means B object is required. Okay, dependency object is required. Please, I just requesting Spring container, hey container. If B is there, you take it. If B is not there, please adjust with a null. Okay, I just want to tell, in that case, what you have to write, additionally you have to pass required is equals false. Okay, so then, so if bean is not present, okay, our dependency bean is not present here. Okay, dependency bean is not present. Okay, means child object in simple not present, then value is null. Okay, that is child object is optional. In simple word, child object is optional. Okay, so let me show up to these two cases, but total 3 cases are there. Okay, case number 1, if one child object, okay, or else one dependency bean is found, then what is the answer here is inject or link them. Case number 2, if 0 child objects found, okay, 0 dependency bean or 0 child objects found here, okay, that's actually 0. Okay, then, okay, so it's actually throwing exception. It says no. Okay, child is must by default required, or else you can do one thing, else use at the rate auto wide. Internally you have to pass one flag, required is equals to false. Okay, so then in this case, okay, so that variable holds null value. Okay, null, required is equals to false. You can say by default it is mandatory. Okay, providing AutoWire definitely need a child bin. At any cost, AutoWire says, no, I want child bin, that to one bin. I want child bin, that to one bin. If you give 0, I won't tolerate that. I don't accept that. You have to give it. Okay, you have to give that value, or else I'm not going to. Okay, fine. So I'll make it this one here. Third case I'll come. Okay, let me show first case and second case outputs here. Okay, so Wasim asks, sir, how multiple objects will get created by container for same Spring Bean? Okay, so here annotation configuration not supported, Wasim. For that we have to go for Java configuration. That's why I did not give case 3 yet. Okay, so here Case 3 still I did not give, because for that we have to learn Java configuration also. Okay, I am creating one Maven application, Maven project. Next button, create a simple project. Okay, com.app. Okay, so here this is Spring Core auto wide next level EX. Opening pm.xml. Open pm.xml, paste it, right click, Maven, update project, force. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let me take two simple classes. Okay, so here I'm just taking a requirement, like I need two objects, class A and class B. Okay, or else you can write any type of class here. I am writing a class. Okay, that is actually my service. Okay, com.app.service. Okay, there I am writing @component to create object, private string code I'm just writing here, hard coding here. Okay, sample data, alt shift S and S. Okay, now I'm just writing one more class, my controller. You can write any class names, not an issue. You can write A and B also. Now I just want to use my service here inside the my controller, dependent class, independent class, and adding dependency. Move or service. Okay, first I'm writing one annotation @component. If you don't give any object name, by default it will take class name. Okay, now see, this is reference type or has a relation as per core Java. Okay, there I'm writing auto void. Then it is actually for @component annotation. Okay, an object is created for my service. Okay, and service will inject internally this one because one object found. Okay, so here alt shift S and S to string method. Okay, I just generated. Look at, so @component creates the object. Look at the two classes common package name. I'm just giving common package name. I'll take it as a base package. Okay, I'm just taking this as a base package. Okay, now if we just observe, right click, new class. Okay, my app config. So this one is to just give base package only, nothing else. @component scan. There we have to give the word base package is optional. Com.app. I just gave here, nothing else, empty class. Okay, now finally I'm writing a test class just to confirm. Okay, so application context. So AC control space enter. Okay, there I wrote a class name, my app config dot class. Don't give any double quotes. Okay, so here uh, control shift to O, import statement. I just want to read the controller object and print, so that even it is connected to service object, that should also be printed. Okay, it's a my controller. So test app ac.getbean. Okay, that's actually my controller, m lowercase my controller dot class to avoid the upcasting and downcasting. So it's a MC. sysout printing MC. Run this application. See here. Okay. Actually, yesterday also one student asked, I gave answer. There is no default package name given in Spring. That concept comes in Spring Boot. Okay. Check it. Already I gave that. Okay. So here, now you can see my control is also connected to my service. My control is connected to my service. Okay. Let me give this point even. Is there any default package name is given for component scan base package? Answer is no. In Spring applications, we programmer must provide externally base package for annotation configuration. Okay, but in Spring Boot, one, okay, starter class or main class package is taken as base package, but still we did not start that one. As you are asking, I'm just giving a question and answer here. Okay, so here this one you can see test class. So we avoid downcast by passing dot class parameter. Now run this application, it has come. Now one matching found. Okay, now look at second case. I am using auto wiring. There is no child object. Okay, what is the meaning of no child object? Okay, so here I'm just going to this class. Either you remove component or you move to some other package. Anything is okay. Object will not be created. Look at very carefully. Okay, so there are two classes we have. One is my controller, second one is my service. Actually, my service object is required. Okay, so service will be linked. But because of @component, I just commented, okay, this object will not be present. Okay, so controller object is created. Service is trying to inject to my service variable is trying to connect with my service object, but that is not present. Are you getting the point? So that means zero matchings found, zero child objects or zero dependency beans found. Okay, so in that case, I'm running the test class and look at here. Okay, so you can see some exception. Let us go from beginning. Exception in thread main. Okay, unsatisfied dependency exception. Okay, error in creating a bean. It's actually error creating a bean, creating the object with the name my controller. Why? You can continue here, or else you can come down and read caused by. Always go down, completely go down. When you see exception, read last caused by. Listen very carefully. When you get any exception trace, this is called trace, printing step by step all the exception message. That is called trace. Okay, when you see such exception trace, this is completely trace. Go to last, read last caused by line. No such bean definition found exception. Okay, what it is saying here? No qualifying bean of type. Okay, my service. Okay, it is saying no bean, no object for my service. Okay, available. Expected at least one bean. It is saying I want one object. Okay, so to qualify the auto wire candidate. So why it is doing like that? I'm not understanding. I actually added only auto wire, right? But internally it is following what here? I did not write that. Please understand. Automatically, see, auto wire internally saying required, child is required. Okay, you want to see the code of that one? Okay, so auto wire control plus mouse click. Okay, or else you can just use control shift T, auto wire. Okay, auto wire internally having a Boolean attribute that is called required. The default value is true. Okay, declares whether the annotation dependency is required or not. Okay, by default, AutoWire internally follows required true. That's why it is throwing this exception. Are you getting the point? So I'm just giving this point here. Okay, look at. I'm just giving a note. @AutoWide internally uses one Boolean attribute. Required is equals to true. That says child or dependency object is must. Else it will throw if no object is found for injection, then container will throw exception. No such bean definition. That means no object is present. Okay, now I just want to avoid this case. Okay, I have to say I want to make it optional. Okay, now let us come back and see. I don't want that exception. I am saying container. Hey, I understood. Thank you, container. I understood. But please don't throw exception. Let it be null. I'll take care of this later. Let it be null. So look at the code. Instead of writing AutoWide, we have to write AutoWide. Then we have to write required is equals to false. Okay, now again I'm running the test class. Now look at carefully. My controller is not connected to any service and the value is null. Clear so far? So writing this example code, full code here, we can request a container to provide null as default instead of throwing exception. Okay, by making code as, so that is actually AutoWide required is equals to false. This is case number 2. Okay, so I'm writing here AutoWide case 2 example code. Yesterday I gave case 1 code. Today I'm just giving case 2 code. And of course, what is the difference? Write the child class, don't add @ component. It will throw exception. You don't want exception, you want null value. Just write required is equals to false. That's it. Nothing more here. Okay, so I'm just writing the first one is actually Spring Bean. I'm just giving so this is Spring Bean, my service and my controller, Spring configuration file input. It's a configuration class. Third, it's a test class. I give it. Okay, so now this is case number 1 and case number 2. Case number 3, what if multiple beans found? Okay, to understand case number 3, we need Java configuration knowledge also, but still I did not give that. I'm just giving only point now, but I'll explain later. Okay, yesterday I gave case number 1, today I gave case number 2. These are the two mostly you will see the case. Case 3, very rare scenario, but I'm just giving the point. If multiple child objects or multiple dependency beans are found, okay, see it is saying actually I need 1, but it gave 3. It's a confusion. Which one to take? Okay, it is saying, hey, I'm unable to choose 1. Okay, I got some problem. Okay, I am asking 1. If you give 1, okay, I'll inject. If you give 0, I'll throw exception. If you request me to hold null, you write auto void is required equal to false. But now you are giving 3. Okay, 3. So 3 are same class objects. I'm getting confusion what to take. Then it says, no, I don't want 3. I want 1. Like that, it will throw some exception message. Okay, that is actually by mentioning no unique. This exception will come later. Okay, so it's actually subtype of no such bin. No such bin will come if it found 0 generally. No unique will come if you found multiple generally. No unique bin definition. Unique means actually no unique. It's not a 1. Okay, exception will thrown when a bin factory, that is actually container. Okay, that's actually throwing multiple, found only one, multiple, that's actually here multiple matching candidates to inject to one bin. Okay, so here this exception will be thrown. Then container throws exception. Just remember that. I'll show practically later. Okay, so here third one is again having multiple sub stages, like selecting one manually. Okay, selecting one manually, or indicating child to select a default one. Okay, or name based matching, like we have multiple here. So that we see later. Just I'm giving a point now. Concentrate only on first and second today. Okay, yesterday I gave first, today I gave second. Okay, so this one will come to that later, but as of now, I'm just giving this one, you remember. Okay, expected single bean, but found 3 objects or 3 beans. Like that, it is going to show some message. Okay, this also will be handled multiple ways. I'll show later. Okay, this is a point. So hope you're clear with the second point, everyone, today. Just type yes in the chat box if you're clear up to this. Okay, so a student asked actually, sir, I wrote auto void is required is equals to false, but been found. If been found injected, whether it's required is equal to true or false. If one been found injected, even though you write auto void required is equals to false. Okay. Now, in case of 0 matchings, you can say instead of throwing exception, you can ask, okay, please hold a null value. Okay. Okay. So here, auto wire one more case is there. It's not over. And I'm just going to one more required concept, that is life cycle methods. Life cycle methods. We can also call it Spring life cycle methods. Same thing applicable in Spring Bean also. Okay. So a method generally performs a task. A life cycle method, programmer you need not to call. General method, programmer you should call. Okay, for example, there is a class A. Class A is there. Okay, M1 is a method I'm saying. M2 is a life cycle method I'm saying. How it is different? Okay, M1 method. Okay, if you want to tell a container or application that is okay, so JVM, you please call the method. Then programmer should create the object. Okay, so then you have to call this. You should write method calling code. This is called method calling code. You should write. Then only method will be executed. If you write 10 times, 10 times executed. But a method, if it is called as a life cycle method, that will be called by containers, VMs automatically in between object creation and destroy. Okay, in between, that's life of the object creation and object destroy. Okay, that life cycle, that method will be called. Okay, understand? I'm just giving two simple point. Method, it is block of code that executes a task, must be called manually. Calling code should be given by programmer. Okay, and life cycle method, a method which is called by container, frameworks, VMs, JVMs, or any VMs. Okay, in between object creation and destroy. Those are called life cycle methods. In core Java, there are no such life cycle methods. But if you learn advanced Java, there is a concept of servlets. You don't need to learn now, but I'm just mentioning the point. In servlets, there are three life cycle methods. Okay, one is actually init method. Second one is actually service method. And third one is actually destroy method. Okay, lot of people will say, what is the use of destroy method? If I ask, they used to say it will destroy the object. No, it will not destroy the object. It will be executed before destroying the object. Okay, so here that means it is actually going to do some garbage collection work. I'm telling, hey, one second. So I'm telling a person, okay, I'm telling to a person, hey, I'm going to kill you, okay, in a 1 hour. Okay, do you have any last wish? Is mentioning his last wish. I'll fulfill that. Okay, he's going to be killed. Okay, he will die in a hour. Okay, so this actually, before destroying the object, I want to do some task. That task can be written inside the destroy method. Okay, so that is actually that's actually releasing the resource, closing some content. Okay, informing to garbage collected to do some task actually here. Yeah, closing connections, closing files, closing resources. Okay, so informing some work or exporting some data finally to Excel file so that I can close this some data, like that actually here. Okay, like, yeah, finalize method, exactly. Destroy internally calls finalize only by default after that. Okay, in Spring, okay, we have two life cycle methods. Okay, one is actually init method and second one is actually destroy method. Okay, and these we can write in three ways. Okay, this programming we can write in three different ways. Observe very carefully. Okay, so here init method and destroy method, let me explain them first, then we'll see. First thing, in servlets, lifecycle methods are mandatory, must be there. Okay, here in Spring, lifecycle methods are optional. We wrote these many programs. Did we use any time init and destroy methods? We wrote these many programs so far, right? Did we use any time init and destroy method in Spring program? No, that means it's saying it's optional. Okay, so first let me explain how they are actually working and when to use, how to write the program. This is Spring container. Spring container, step number 1 will find or scan classes. Step number 2, create object or instantiate. Okay, and step number 3, inject dependencies. Okay, provide data. Step number 4. Okay, once it is done, init method will be executed. Once all objects are ready, then it is going to execute init method. Generally, in this init method, we are going to write some code to connect with external resources. What does it mean? Database connection, connecting with some text file, CSV file. I want to read some CSV data, Excel sheet data. Okay, I want to read some data from database generally. Okay, I want to read the data from one input stream. Such kind of things we write init method, connecting with external resources. That is the point. Okay, so that's actually general purpose of init method here. Okay, so finding the classes, creating the object, injecting the dependencies, and init method. Step number 5, used or read by programmer. That's a get bin. You do whatever you want. Okay, so here step number 6, step number 7. Step number 7, I'm a container, I'm stopping the container, object is going to be destroyed. Destroy the object or container. Before destroying to that, okay, so destroy method will be called. In the destroy method, whatever you opened in the init, that you have to close. A good approach. Okay, so there's actually destroy methods are mostly used for a predefined classes only. We don't get a chance to write them manually, but you should know that. Okay, so here that's we don't write mostly manually, but there are some classes. Okay, so if you want, I'll show something. It's showing old version. So there is actually, it is internally auto closable, but it is from this auto closable will be called by destroy by default. There will be something called close method. Our general destroy method will call this auto closable close methods. This many interfaces are there. This close methods. Okay, that method callings are internally written in the destroy method. Okay, so I'll show that once we go to advanced level. Okay, JPA programming level, we'll see that. Okay, so here these are the life cycle methods. Okay, you have to give two inputs for this. One is actually your Spring Bean and Spring configuration file. Okay, so here init and destroy are optional. these methods this is Spring container, not transaction. Okay, so these methods are optional. We can configure them in 3 ways. One is using XML configuration. So you define two methods at the time of writing bean tag, bean open and bean close we write. Okay, there we have to write init hyphen method and write some method name, whatever the method name you wrote. Okay, and there you have to write destroy hyphen method. You write the method name. Okay, second way, okay, using predefined interfaces. There are some predefined interfaces available. Okay, one is actually called initializing bean. Control Shift T, initializing bean. It's an interface. Okay, this time init method name is fixed after properties set, means after injecting all the dependencies, a method, this method will be called. Okay, look at initializing bean is an interface. Okay, it is having one abstract method that is after property set. Okay, there is one more predefined interface that is called disposable bean. Okay, so this disposable bean, again, it's an interface. Okay, there is a method called destroy. Okay, there are some annotation configuration. Okay, not given by Spring frameworks. Okay, they actually called the JSR annotation here, Java specification request annotations. Okay, JSR annotations actually, that is actually called pre-construct and post-destroy. Okay, so we can write here like this. These are the two annotations, pre-construct and post-destroy. Okay, these are much less used in real time. Okay, mostly you'll see either first case or second case, but it will also be there. Okay, so I am showing three combinations one by one. Okay, I'm asking few simple questions, give reply. A life cycle method will be called manually. That must be called manually. Yes or no? So point you have to listen. No, life cycle method never be called manually. Your friends are there. No, answer is no. It should not be called manually. Okay, life cycle methods are called by containers, frameworks, or VM. In between object creation and destroy. Okay, how many life cycle methods supported by Spring container? In Spring, not 3, it's actually 2. Okay, they actually init method and destroy method. Okay, general life cycle methods are used to work with external resources. Okay, to connect with external resources, we use them. One is to open and read, a second one is to close. Okay, so here, are this mandatory or optional? optional. Okay, so they are actually optional in Spring. Advanced Java mandate, we leave it. Okay, we just working on this one. Okay, how many ways we can configure them? 3 ways. Okay, so we can configure in 3 ways. First, XML configuration. Second, predefined interfaces given by Spring Framework. And third, JSR annotations, Java specification request, JSR. Okay, so here let me show one by one. Other, Maven project, simple project. Next button, com.app, Spring Core, XML, lifecycle methods, EX. Now look at. Okay, I'm just writing some dummy code here. I'm just showing the structure. Okay, I am writing Excel export service. I want to export the data to Excel. Okay, so just I'm writing, not writing actual logic now. Okay, look at here. It's actually file name. It's a mode. Like this I'm writing. Okay, but what I just want to do, I want to connect with the database. Okay, so that I can read the data from there. So initially I want to execute some logic after setting the file name and all here. So I'm writing a method name called setup. Public void some setup. Okay, here we have to write lot of code. That code will be having something like, okay, connected to database, execute some queries, get some data, prepare some model and give it to some, okay, file content like that. But I'm not writing all these things. Simply I'm just writing temporary dummy logic. I'm just showing how to configure them initially. Okay, from init method. Okay, so finally I have to close the connection. Public void, okay, clean. Okay, here also we have to write some code, but I'm not concentrating on that here. Sys out from destroy method. Okay, XML configuration. I'm writing. So Alt Shift S O, deselect all, generate default constructor. Alt Shift S or select all, generate. Alt Shift S and yes. Okay, just for clarity purpose. Okay, how can I confirm constructor is executed? Write a sysout statement from constructor. Control Shift X, Control Shift Y. All uppercase, all lowercase. Selected content, Control Shift X, Control Shift Y. This is Excel Eclipse shortcut, right? Last time one student asked, sir, why can't we use 2 uppercase and 2 lowercase methods? Okay. 1 second, I got shocked, then I understood. Okay. You're asking me to write a Java program to convert. It's Eclipse shortcut. Okay. But your thinking is great. Okay. So this is selected content. For this, again, I can't write it two uppercase, right? Okay, that's okay. But here, for example, this method name I want to convert, that you can't write two uppercase. Okay, your thinking is great, but any select content, okay, Control Shift X, Control Shift Y, that in that format you want to do. Okay, so this is constructor, this is set method. Need not write, just for clarity, sys out from setter method. First constructor will be executed, then set method will be executed, then init method will be executed. Later, you are going to use the object and print, and finally, destroy method will be executed. This is the order, and finally destroy the object. Okay, so we have to see 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 will be done by content that we can't see, and 7 also done by content that we can't see. Okay, now I just want to show this one. Okay, XML configuration. SRC main resource. Here you have to keep XML file. If you don't know how to copy this, go to internet, take a tab, Spring XML configuration, official link. Lines to copy, paste it. This is comment open and comment close in XML. Delete this. Okay. Now I have to configure this class. You can write in any order. Yes, I'll do copy paste. Property name is equals to file name. There we used to write value tag. Instead of writing value tag here, we can write value here itself and self closing tag. Okay, there's actually sample. There I'm writing property mode. Self closing tag value. Okay, CSV format. Some data I just gave. Leave this. But observe the most important open bean tag. Bean, I wrote ID and class. This is open tag. Here we have to write init hyphen method. Look at the method name, setup. Anything you write it. That's your wish. Okay. So I wrote this one init hyphen method. That method will be called here. Right click, new class test. New class path XML application context. It's XML file. ac.getBean. So I'm just reading the object and printing. That is actually EOBJ. Still, I did not write destroy method. Now look at, I wrote two methods. One is setup method. You can write any name. And second, I wrote clean method. That is actually I'm calling as a destroy. You can write any name. Okay. This method name at bean tag level, I wrote init hyphen method is equals to method name. Still, I did not write destroy because they are optional. You can write only init method. You can write only destroy method. Okay. So here EOBJ is a bean object name. I'm just giving that. Okay. No need to do downcasting. I'm just printing this sysout OB. Control F11. You see first what is called here. That means class is scanned. Class is scanned. Then setter method injection is done. First finding the class and creating the object. Then injection is done. Setter injection is done. Then from init method, you can see init method. Okay. Then reading and printing the object. Reading and printing the object. Are you clear? So what is the extra thing I wrote here is init hyphen method. Now I'm writing destroy hyphen method. Look at the method name. I am writing clean. Go to test class and run this program. Are you see any destroy method calling? Very simple, because container not destroyed yet. Though main class is completed, container memory present still. I have to actually, we should not close it, but I am requesting container. Okay, in application context, there is no such method. We have to move to at least abstract our class path. Take full name. Take full name. Okay, just I am writing a method AC dot look at. Okay, instead of application context, I took class path XML application context, calling a method close. Okay, it will force container to stop by destroying the objects. Actually, it's not good, but once we go to web application, there will be server start and server stop. Now we are in core application only. That's why I'm using this. Okay. Now you see destroy method. Are you clear? Generally, without closing container, there will be no destroy process initialized. Okay, this is only for testing purpose, but in real time, we use server start, server stop, Tomcat server, JBoss server, WebLogic server, anything, server start and stop. That will take care. Okay, only you have to understand these two. These two. This is extra today, init method and destroy. Let me remove init method. Line number 10, I removed. Okay, running the test class. Yes, it is called. Let me remove destroy method. Of course, first one we wrote like this only. Init method has come. Let me remove both, of course, your wish. So you can write only init method or destroy method, even both completely optional. Getting the point? Okay, so that is init method and destroy method. Let me give code up to this one. I'll be giving this folder structure also. Please do everyday program practice, because last class, if I explain some point, that I'll not type in a slow manner. Okay, for example, you see this, I just finished in super fast way. Test class, I finished in super fast way. Okay, because I feel that you practiced up to that. If I'm starting point number 21, that I feel you practiced up to point number 20. Sometimes important points I'll revise, but not everything. Okay, that's the most important thing that you have to do. Practice, at least read and come. Otherwise, you will not remember. Okay, so if that is the case, then only we can finish in 2.5 months or 3 months. Otherwise, it will take 8 months. Okay, yesterday point also you repeat. Okay, today I'll repeat yesterday point. What about day for yesterday? That's not possible. So you have to read. I'll be giving lot of points. Okay. At last, I'll give some time to ask your questions also. Spring Bean. XML config. Test class. Additionally, you have to call close method. Additionally, you have to call close method to see container destroy. Must be called to see destroy method, nothing else. Now let me write second format. This is bean tag, init method, and destroy method. Second format, I am just using predefined interfaces, initializing bean and disposable bean. Okay, so here file new other Maven project, create a simple project. Okay, Spring Core lifecycle interfaces EX. Maven update project force update. Let me copy and paste. Same service class, same test class. Okay, here also either you use XML or annotation configuration, anything. That's your wish, whatever you want to use. Okay, setup method. Setup method, I'm just removing this method name, and clean method, I'm just removing this method name. Here I'm writing implements. Okay, working with the predefined interfaces, initializing bean. Okay, and there I'm overriding the method after property set in the place of setup method. And there is disposable bin. Your wish, you want to add or leave it only one also fine. That's actually destroy method. Just method names changed. This time they are predefined. You can't change. Previously in XML, you write any method name. XML configuration, you write any method name. In this case, these methods names are fixed. Okay. Now here in the XML configuration, or you write direct component also fine. These two lines not required. Not required. I am deleting them. You need not to write them. This is fine. No need of writing initialize init method or destroy method. Init hyphen method, destroy hyphen method not required when you're working with initializing bean and disposable bean. Initializing bean, it's an interface. Okay, that method name is after property set. The name indicates after doing dependency injection. after setting the properties. Okay. And disposable bin also interface, having a method called destroy method. Okay, now I'm running this class. Same output. Of course, the way of writing the code is different, but output is same. Okay, so here I wrote this code, just two interface names and two method names. Initializing bin after property set, disposable bin, destroy method. Lifecycle methods using interfaces. One Spring Bean. Yeah, you can write at the rate component here, at the rate value here, no issue. But this is same. Spring XML file. And test class. Okay. Now I'm writing I'm not using any implements. Okay, just again I'm setting back to setup method, clean method, anything. Okay, but we can add some annotations here at the rate post construct, but it is saying it is not available. Okay, so here post construct and pre-destroy, we have to add this one. Did they move to any version? One additional dependency we need to add, just wait. No, not this one. Maven. In pom.xml. Okay, this is actually not Spring, but Spring internally supports when you add this one. Post construct. This is actually called JSR 250, Java specification request 250. This official documentation. Okay, some annotations used in frameworks level, means real-time application levels. Okay, not only Spring, there was even some old technologies and frameworks. For all, it is giving some common. Okay, so you can just work on them. They are giving multiple annotations. In that one category, life cycle. Life cycle is common in any servers, any frameworks. So I'll give it. You need not to write separately. You can follow my standard. Okay, that is called Java specification request. Java specification request, that is actually number 250. Number 250 indicates actually here life cycle purpose. Okay, so you can read this official document if you want, not required, just if you want. Post construct pre destroy. Pre means before destroying. Post construct after creating the object and providing the data. Post construct meaning is after creating the object, after constructing, not constructor injection, don't get confused. Okay, after creating the object with the data. Okay, now go to test class and run this application. Okay, you are not seeing any output. Look at, I add those annotations. If you look at very carefully, okay, so I added post construct and pre destroy. Okay, though I add these two, okay, I'm running this application, it's not over, it's not working. Step number 1, I have added this dependency, okay, JAX annotation API, then I am able to write these annotations. Step number 2, but step number 3, in this case, some JSR annotations or any other annotations you have to activate them. Okay, sir, how to activate? In beans, here we have some lines. Okay, these lines I'm just doing, see, copy and paste. Okay, context schema we need to add. XML NS colon context. Copy this line and paste it. You don't worry about this. You directly copy paste my content. Context. And these two lines again we have to copy and paste. In the place of beans, we have to change it to context schema. Context and context. This is the line additionally added. These are the two lines additionally added. Context colon annotation hyphen config. Actually, this is a line, but you want to use this, it is available in context schema. Generally, we write import statement in Java. Import java.util.star, like these lines, almost. Context schema is imported so that you can use this. What are the additional lines I add here? External API annotations, it is actually activating. JSR all we have additionally. That's the one. So this one, if you not use XML, I'll show how to activate this. Okay, so I'm going to show this later without using this one. Okay, annotation config I'm just using in the test class. Now I'm running this application from init method and from destroy method. Clear? Okay, so I'll show another way of writing test class, annotation config application context. That is also you can write. Okay, but in that case we have to write @component. Okay, so here I'm just writing main1 main okay, don't want to confuse by adding both at a time. I'll write one more if you want. Simple, just write one at the rate configuration. Okay, that's one class we have to write Java based configuration class that will activate this. But still we did not come to Java based configuration. We'll come to that later. But class name simply annotation config. By default, annotation config application context, activate the annotations. Okay, that is annotation config application context. Okay. Okay, so I just run this application, output has come, right? So this one additionally we added. Let me give third category, life cycle methods using JSR 250 annotations. One is Spring Bean, XML config file, test class. Okay, now see, additionally you need to add this dependency. I'm just giving full pom.xml. This additional dependency you need to add. Okay, so look at, so instead of writing this XML configuration and all, I am writing one annotation at the rate component. Okay, so here now let this be XML file. Just I am writing a class name my app config. Okay, just I'm writing at the rate component scan. So base package name is com.app. In the test class, annotation config application context. Our class name is my app config dot class. Okay, so you can write this. Okay, what it is saying? EOBJ. No, not EOBJ. Okay, are you able to see init method and destroy method? Okay, no additional configuration required like this. Why, you may ask? Okay, look at what is our configuration here. Annotation config by default activates the annotations. Okay, additional external annotations too. Though it is a external annotation, it's not related to Spring. Okay, though it is external, annotation will activate by default. That's the point actually I said. Okay, if you want, I'll give this code also. In that case, no constructor setGet methods required. Spring Bean. Second, config class. I think you understood. You have to write actually that one, test class. Instead of class path XML, I just use this one, our one. Clear? Understood everyone? Okay, so here asking few questions. How many life cycle methods are supported by Spring Framework? How many, sir? 2 methods. They are init and destroy. Okay. In how many ways? Okay, we can configure them 3 ways. One is XML. At bean tag, we have tried what? Init hyphen method, any name, that's your wish. And second one, destroy hyphen method. Second, Spring predefined annotations. Yeah, sorry, interfaces. My mistake. Interfaces. The interface names are actually initializing bean, having a method after properties set, and second, Control Shift T, disposable bean. Okay, and third one, by using JSR 250, Java specification request, means it's a standard. Okay, for example, my name is Raghu. Tomorrow I'm planning a new framework that is actually called, okay, something web framework, some ABC web framework. I am creating my own. In that web framework, I am just trying to replace some Spring framework, advanced version. Then in that my project also some general concept required lifecycle methods, so that programmer can use them. You need some that configuration. Then Java said, hey Raghu, you write some implementation code for post construct and pre-destroy. This is universal. So programmer, if he apply that annotation, your framework should support. Are you getting the point? So Sun Microsystem is saying to framework developer, follow these universal rules. That universal rules are Java specification request number 1. Okay, application should look like this, standard should be look here, right? Classes like this, container should create object up. Number 2, number 3, number 250 says, okay, number 250 is saying, okay, so that is life cycle methods. Okay, you follow that. Actually, it's a standard. No, I will not follow the standard. Okay, your wish, but it's a recommendation. Java specification request here. It's a recommendation. JSR 250 annotations. Okay. Okay. How can we activate JSR annotation or any other annotation in XML config? Okay, we need to add one tag. What is the tag? Context colon annotation hyphen config in XML file. Also, you need to add a dependency. Actually, old dependency name was different, sir. That old they removed, I think. They mentioning this artifact was moved. Okay, very good. You moved. Actually, JSR 250 separate was there. I think they completely moved. Just for a second. Just 1 second, 1 second. I'm just checking that. Okay, okay, E4J. JDK9. Okay. Okay, fine. Old name was just different here. Okay, that's okay, fine. Just wait for a second. Okay, hope you're clear this one. Next session we have Monday. Okay, please join everyone by 7 a.m. I'm starting sharp 7 a.m. If you come by 7:10, you continue. I have no issue, but I'll start at 7 a.m. I'll take up to 8:15, 8:20 like that. Okay, Saturday and I'll be taking up to 8:30 for sure. Okay, so 7 a.m. I'm starting sharp. Practice all the concepts whatever I'm giving, especially Spring Core is very important. How much experience you get, Spring Core, Spring REST. Okay, Spring REST, Data JPA, microservices are common and its design patterns, microservice and design patterns. These are mandatory. Remaining you can skip, you want, no problem. Especially Spring Core. Very, 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 very important. So please don't neglect that. Okay. Once you go to advanced level, if you don't do practice of some examples, fine. I'll tell, okay, need not to practice this. I'll mark it. But Spring Core, there is no such option. Everything you learn, everything. Keep your more time and try to learn that. That's most important here. Okay. So syllabus PDF also uploaded. You can find it in the first initial classes. Okay. There is syllabus PDF also available. You can check it, download and check it. Okay. So thank you for session. If you have any questions, be in the line. I'll just upload the notes and I'll come to you. Okay. Or else you can leave for the day. Next class will be on Monday. Okay. From mostly next weekend onwards, I'll be taking Sunday classes. I'll give those Sundays recordings, tools. Okay. I'll start with the Maven. GitHub already one session conducted. I'll take session 2. Okay. Gradle, JUnit, Mockito. Like that, I'll continue one by one tools. Every Sunday session will be uploaded to YouTube. Okay. Yeah, just wait few minutes. I'll upload the notes, or else you can leave for the day. Thank you. Have a great day and great weekend. Madhulata, please contact admin. Okay, admin will share these links to download the notes, videos, and all. Okay, so I think you got an initial email to whom you have to communicate. Please ask admin. Okay, Rajia, just 1 second. Actually, I wrote code. Whatever the life cycle methods we wrote, okay, today we wrote manually. Actually, we have tried some code here. This method you need not to call separately. If you write other than these annotations, you don't apply any annotation, this method will not be executed because you have to call it explicitly. Some eobj dot setup you have to call. But if you observe in the code, we did not call that method anywhere. Okay, that will be automatically executed after construction and set method. So you have any logic, that logic should be executed after creating the object and setting the data, then we have to. Can we use both XML configuration and annotation configuration in the same application? So we need to invoke two different containers. How dependency injection will work in that case? Krishna, first point, do you want to use both configurations? Then in the test class, you have to write two lines, two times like this. Let me show that for your understanding. Okay, but like that, no one will do. Yes, you can. Application context AC1 is equals to new class path XML application context and some file name. Okay, application context AC2 is equals to new annotation config application context. Okay, some dot class file you have to pass. Application context AC3 is equals to new, sorry, here only you can do one thing. We have some predefined classes to be, containers to be passed. Class path XML application context. We can pass parent application context. AC2, I'm just passing. Like this we have to do. Krishna? Okay, like this we have to pass application context. Okay, but actually if you want multi-resource here, of course it is asking all inputs to pass. Okay, so here I'm not passing, showing the structure. Okay, so here like this one container we have to pass as an input to another container creation. Okay, so that's the way you have to pass, and then it will be created. Second thing, if we have any configuration here, that will be overridden by second configuration. For example, in the first one you wrote something id is equal to 10 example. In the second one also you write id is equal to 20, 20 will be taken. Okay, if you write duplicate configuration, second configuration will be taken. Okay, that's the point here. Okay, same concept, dependency injection, XML executed, annotation also executed. Okay, so both are executed here. There is no such issue. AC2 comma file name. Of course, it is saying that you have to pass. We have to pass in the structure of array. Where is that? It's the array. That means new string array of config1.xml, config2.xml, and AC2, like this. I'm not writing the code, just I'm showing that one. Okay, but like this, no one will do. because in Spring Boot, once we go to Spring Boot, okay, there is no XML configuration. It is completely removed. That's why this kind of programming I'm not showing. Okay, hope you got the point. Elendra, design patterns is to design pattern purpose is only simple. Reduce the number of lines of code, reduce number of objects creation, or create whatever the object required and destroy remaining. Performance, sir. Design pattern performance only. Spring MVC request lifecycle different from Spring Bean lifecycle. MVC, there is no Krishna, first MVC request concept is different. Okay, that is not called lifecycle. MVC request flow. Okay, that's MVC process is different, entirely different. That's not connected to this. There also, if we have a Spring Bean like controller, for that lifecycle methods are common. In real time, we don't write lifecycle methods manually. We'll be using some predefined classes. Those predefined class internally using lifecycle methods. I'll show once we go to database connectivity, there will be destroy methods called basic data source, driver main data source, and all. Any questions still? Still you have any questions? Feel free to ask to my email. Okay, I'll be giving reply today mostly javabyRaghu@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, that's related to web.